Hey everyone, Joe here with the Idaho Prepper channel, and we are going to reshoot our Prepper Pantry video because evidently the Prepper Pantry video that I submitted last week, it was up for 2 days, it was doing really well, and then YouTube found that it was too controversial, and so they took it down. Not exactly sure why they took it down. They didn't give me a very definitive reason, but I suspect it was probably not something so much in this area here, but probably in this area right here, or possibly, I don't know, this area in here maybe. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to reshoot this, and hopefully it'll go a little bit quicker this time because I know the format now. So we'll actually just start in this corner. I think this is where we started before. And I'll try to keep it clean this time. I'll try to keep it politically correct. I'll tailor my speech a little bit better this time. But first things first, we got toilet paper. Probably not enough toilet paper for, end of the world type scenario. But that amount of toilet paper, according to the internet, the average person goes through between like 8 and 12 rolls of toilet paper a month, which seems a little excessive. I think it's more like 4 to 8 maybe per person, but I'll let you guys kind of decide on what your toilet paper usage is. Obviously, it probably depends on the size of the roll and all that, but that is the kind of the going figure from the internet. So I got, a couple months worth of toilet paper there for me and my family of 5. Over here, this is not our water situation. This is just some bottled water that we take when we're going out. So don't think that is my water storage. I have other water storage. It's in the form of 50-gallon drums and a creek. And I got some rain catchment systems, things like that. But this is my admin kind of area. I come out here, I got my laptop. So if something is going down, I can kind of keep a tab on things. I got a scanner right here, and then I got my GMRS, and then I have my Baofeng UV5R, so I can kind of keep tabs on everything that's going around me. And my neighbors also have these radios. I handed them out to my neighbors who I like, I guess, or who I know the best. And if anything goes down, we all have a predetermined channel that we're all going to be communicating on. So this is kind of that communication area, especially if it's a high stakes situation. I don't want my family, don't want my kids to hear what's going on. So I kind of keep separate and stay in here. Up here, just got some random things, glasses. I got some palm refills for my pepper spray, things like that. This is actually a programmer for my Baofeng radios that was sent to me by NorCal Chris. And then up here we got a bunch of literature. I have field dressing for wild game, and I think everybody should have this if you are anticipating that you might have to go up into the mountains and take game in order to supplement your food. Get a cookbook on how to prepare it, and that way you can make it taste a lot better. Let's see what else. I got a lot of books in here. I have this book. This is Wild Foraging for the Pacific Northwest of my area. Kind of tells me all the wild edible plants and berries and stuff that are available near me. And just a lot of miscellaneous survival books. This book here is really extensive survival guide. Teaches you how to build shelters, set snares, traps, things like that. And then here I actually have, and people always ask me about these. These are my emergency preparedness checklists here. That one, I pulled some pages up, but basically we have checklists. And I'm doing a full video on this, so I'm not going to get too into it. But you can go to, there's a lot of different websites where you can go and download a free PDF and then print it out. And then what I like to do is put them in these plastic sleeves and then put them in a binder. And then that way, you can take yourself a dry erase marker and go through and check off the things that you have or the things that you need. And then when you're done, you can just erase it. So these lists, I like them. They kind of they're just good for a good reference. They're very extensive and organized. So it's easier than, making your own list. But again, I have a video coming out where I'm going to go through all my lists, all my inventory. It's a long video. It's like an hour, almost an hour and a half long video. So if you guys want to check that out, stay posted to the channel. Got a Holy Bible, of course. I got it in this nice case, but you gotta have yourself a Bible. I got some Baofeng radios in here. This is actually, the radio's already out and programmed, but these are just kind of as the box with the components. Over here we got a medical book. This is the Survival Medicine Handbook. Probably the best book you can get for medical in a bug-in situation. So how to treat pretty much every kind of wound and illness when there isn't a doctor available. So, and I got more of those types of books. Here's another one, When There Is No Doctor. Yeah, bunch of different books in here. Got the U.S. Army Special Forces Medical Handbook. I've had that one since I was a kid, I think. Yeah, so just basic books in here. More first aid. Got a mini farming book. Tells you how to garden, things like that. Next to the books, we have some oil lamps. I just like to have the oil lamps, I have a lot of oil on hand as well, but I like the oil lamps. They tend to last a little longer, and I just, like the light they give off. You don't have to recharge them or anything like that. So it's always good to have some oil lamps. Here we got a case of MREs, and this actually came in a 2-pack. So I got this case and then that case there. And I believe I got these at the time for like $70. It was a smoking deal, but you can still get this deal on Amazon for under $100. I think it's like 90, but if you wait, keep tabs on it, they eventually go on sale and you can save money. But, getting 2 cases for under $100 is still a crazy deal. For those of us, who know the prices of MREs, these were selling for $170 a case for like probably almost a decade. For a really long time, like, these things were expensive and hard to get. So I'll make sure to leave a link in the description where you can get the 2-pack of these with like 2026 inspection date for under $100, but really good deal. Got some vanilla extract here. So my wife makes this, and we sell them sometimes, or we give them away as gifts. And then here, got my Jace medical kit. Got 2 of these. And, this is what I'll say about these kits. For those of you who are thinking about maybe purchasing one, this is, antibiotics. I had a real run-in, like a scare with antibiotics. So I don't, I don't advocate these things lightly. I know the medication in here, if you don't know what you're doing, can be very dangerous. So the idea with these kits, having a backup of antibiotics, is really so that, if you have something going on, you go to your doctor diagnoses you and figures out, okay, you have such and such thing going on, you're going to need this antibiotic. And let's say you're that situation where you have access to the doctor, but there's a supply chain issue and you can't access the antibiotics. This way you have a backup. But this is definitely not to self-diagnose yourself, okay, and then take antibiotics. These are, you go to a doctor, you get diagnosed with what's going on, he prescribes you an antibiotic, and then if they don't have any in stock, you have the backup and he can prescribe them to you. But it is a really healthy backup supply of pretty much every antibiotic you would need to treat pretty much any infection and illness. Over here we got some house alarms, and these are those door and window alarms. They're really cheap. It's a really good, cost-effective alternative for home security and house alarms. So I always stock up on these. This case right here is just canning stuff. Over here, we just got miscellaneous wires. I got some backup cell phones in here in case one of my cell phones goes down. Over here, we have all my colloidal silver making stuff. So my colloidal silver generator, I got some silver strips in there, which are probably worth 10 grand right now. No, yeah, colloidal silver is a good thing for treating certain things. You can look into it. A lot of people agree, a lot of people don't, but either way, look into it. It's kind of interesting. Over here, we just got some gun cleaning stuff, and then this is miscellaneous kind of overflow type stuff. Got some mason jars, sponges, cleaning products, and then right here's all my food saver bags for my food saver. And this food saver, I tell you, I did a lot of research. This is the best one to go with, and it has the accessory where you can, stick this to basically one of these things, and it will suck all of the air out of a mason jar. But it's really cool if you want to put, peanuts, or you're just trying to preserve stuff in these jars. You can just, instead of putting an oxygen absorber in there, you just hook this attachment up and it will take all the air out. But really good way to preserve food. Moving up here, got my Idaho reverse osmosis water filter, which I use sometimes. There's definitely a lot of benefits to reverse osmosis. But again, I'll leave links in the description for all this stuff and discount codes if I have it. Up here we have a pressure canner. Actually, this is the pressure canner. That's just a canner. My wife does a lot of canning with jellies and jams and honey butter and stuff like that, but definitely need a pressure cooker or a pressure canner in your prepping arsenal. Over here, we got a meat grinder. I use that a lot for when I get a turkey and I got to grind it up, put spice in there, and try to make that wild turkey taste good. Over here, we have a food dehydrator, and that was my first tool for preserving food before I got my freeze dryer, but that's still great. I use it all the time for making beef jerky. That is the best tool to have for making your own beef jerky. Over here we have a meat slicer. I use that a lot because I buy all of my deli meat in bulk, and then I slice it up, as I need it, and I freeze the rest. But you definitely save a lot of money that way. That's just a box of wet wipes, I think. And then over here is my prepping, kind of my Mylar stuff. So I got my iron in there for sealing the Mylar bags, all my oxygen absorbers, that kind of thing. And then right there is a blender for making my laundry detergent. I made videos on that. Making your own laundry detergent is very, very cost effective. Over here we have a nice map of my beautiful state of Idaho. This backpack is actually just my camera equipment, so it's just full of camera equipment, not very interesting. Over here, this is the interesting part, I guess. We have my Refuge Medical IFAK. I take this with me pretty much wherever I go when I leave. This is kind of my route when I go to work or I go out, is I come through this door, I grab my get home bag, my EDC kit, and then my IFAK kit, and then I head out this door, get in my truck, and leave. But this bag here, like I said, it's my EDC kit. It's the Eberly stock Bando bag XL. Great kit for EDC, but I keep my EDC pistol in here, along with flashlight, knife, all kinds of things. But I've done a bunch of reviews on this, and there's even a ballistic panel in that fanny pack. Really cool. This is my get home bag, like I said. It's by Marting Top. This is a great bag. One of the greatest, most functional bags I've ever used. And I got this, and it's $40 on Amazon, or 45 bucks. I haven't checked in a while, but that's what it was. It was under $50. So crazy deal. All YKK zippers and buckles, heavy duty Cordura material, and then just really well thought out bag. So love this bag as my get home bag. Down there is just an IFAK. And then over here, this is just overflow food. So all of our cases of canned food. So when I run out of our canned food here, I just go up there, pull another case, break it out, and refill the stock. But this is a working pantry. So my family and I, because we live pretty far away from town, we have to buy our food in bulk. So we're not just making endless trips to the grocery store and wasting gas. So that's a big reason why we buy a lot of the food in bulk, is just to cut down on the amount of trips to the store, because we're so far away. We don't have that luxury of like, oh, I forgot, avocados. Oh, zip to the store real quick, zipping to the store is an hour. So we got to keep everything well stocked up in here. But yeah, all overflow. And then behind these cases of canned food is all freeze-dried food. And I have all my freeze-dried food in number 10 cans. You can see that, but goes back pretty deep. But all behind here is just all freeze-dried food. And, I bought that freeze-dried food probably 12, 13 years ago when it was really cheap. You could get a can of, number 10 can of Mountain House Pasta Primavera for like 12, 16 bucks, something like that. But now I have a freeze dryer, so I can make that food for even cheaper. But down here is just all of my essential food. So beans, rice, sugar, salt, oatmeal, flour, that kind of stuff. And I got basically this whole row, and it goes, 2 buckets back, and same with up there. These containers right here is just full of pasta, dehydrated potatoes, some rice, but mostly this is all my grain. And I got popcorn in here, a lot of spaghetti, pasta, like I said. And I keep it in these cases to protect them from mice, because every once in a while we do get mice. But I got the traps going out, so we've been able to keep the mice population under control lately, so I haven't had too many issues. But definitely, if you have mice issues and you want to make a pantry, you got to put the food that can be gotten into in cases. Back here, this is just condiment stuff. Again, like I said, it's a working pantry, so this is the stuff my family goes through the most. So a lot of ranch, ketchup, run a little low on ketchup. I got to get more of that. Parmesan cheese, lots of peanut butter. I stock up on peanut butter and jelly, mustard, honey, mayo, minced ginger. This is a good deal. I got this at Costco. Got a lot of Cholula hot sauce, because I'm a hot sauce guy, so definitely got to keep a nice healthy stockpile of hot sauce, barbecue sauce, that kind of thing. Over here, more just miscellaneous hot chocolate, crackers. I do have some backpack meals from like Ready Wise and Mountain House in here that are just kind of random. Sometimes I'll throw them in my camping bag when we're going camping. Got some pickles back there. And then this is just all canned food. It's just basically miscellaneous. I try to keep it organized, but people start going through here looking for something and it gets all disorganized. But this is pretty much beans and fruit and vegetables. And then over here, this is all meat. We got chicken, I got pulled pork, lots of tuna fish, sardines, oysters. So definitely a healthy supply of that. And down here, more miscellaneous stuff. But in this box here, we have all of the gas masks for the family. So got a gas mask for every single member of our family, along with CBRN filters for each gas mask. I have nascent iodine tablets in here for any type of radioactive attack. Let's see, I got a whole case so I can build like a decontamination room. So I got a bunch of plastic, duct tape, gloves. I got hazmat suits in here. So pretty much everything you could possibly need for a nuclear attack or some type of dirty bomb attack. Plus I got even some radiation meters in there as well. And then this tote is just more overflow. Also keep a lot of the freeze-dried food that I've made with my freeze dryer. So got some strawberries that I did. I think I have blueberries in here too. But yeah, the chicken pasta primavera. So I did a whole video on that. But I love my Stay Fresh freeze dryer. It makes really good food and very cost effective. Here we just have some random MREs. But again, like I said, this is just kind of overflow, a lot of MRE type stuff. All right. And then I guess I might as well get it. There's just some drinks down there. Basically some soda and juice for the kids. And then in this tote is actually all of the kids' bug out bags. So I got my son and then my two daughters' bug out bags in here. And then underneath all this is actually water. There's some snacks. There's some stuff to keep them entertained, like coloring books. But I did a video on that. I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description for that. But this is definitely a good thing to have. You know, if you're bugging out, there's a fire or something, and we got to get out of here ASAP. This is the thing I grabbed. They have a change of clothes in their bags. Water, snacks, like I said, everything they need. And then on this door is basically this is my bug out medical kit. So my whole family, we have to bug out. This is the med kit that we're grabbing. Pretty much has everything that I would need to handle any type of medical emergency and boo-boo, type emergencies, stuff like that as well. But it's also my bug-in bag, but really good pack. I also did a video on this. So you guys are interested, I'll leave a link in the description for that. And yeah, pretty much everything I would need. I got sutures in here, tourniquets, stethoscopes. I have blood pressure, meters, all that kind of stuff. All right, so I think, we got my solar generator. Small one. This is just a 600 watt, but this is great. I take this camping with me. Keeps my cell phone, all my radios, flashlights powered up. Have a drone here. Drone is a good thing to have on you in case there are riots or something, going on near you. You can send a drone up in the air and get real-time, reconnaissance and a report of your area. So, obviously you have riots. Maybe you're in a suburb type area. Depending on the laws or whatever, you want to check those first. You can send this up and see, is there a riot coming down my street? How much time do I have? But that's kind of my thinking, at least with having a drone as a prepping instrument. Here we have batteries. This is the Battery Buddy, I believe it's called. And my battery supply is looking a little lethargic, so I gotta get some more batteries. But these are great for keeping your batteries all organized. And they even have a battery tester in there as well. Over here, this is just a shop light, but I use this as my main light. When the power goes out, we lose power. This is the light I grab, and it's just super bright. It lights up a whole room, and these little lights actually pop off, and they can be used as individual flashlights. But this is great for camping and just, home emergencies. But I bought this from Costco a while back, probably like 6 years ago, and I think they discontinued them. But you can kind of find lights like this on Amazon that are, close to this design. But it's neat because they are rechargeable. Over here, I have my thermal optic, and this is great too, especially in you're in a situation where you need to go hunting and you really need food. This would be obviously illegal, and it would be in a situation where it's, without rule of law or martial law or something. Maybe you use this, but it's good for surveillance as well. But having a thermal optic is definitely a huge advantage in any type of high stakes situation. Here we just have a basic gun cleaning kit, so everything I need to clean all of my firearms in this case. And this is just kind of miscellaneous stuff. There's some overflow medical stuff in here. I actually keep my filters for my ProPure gravity-fed water filter in there. And that is about it. I think I covered it, except for this. The most controversial part of the video, evidently. So we're going to go ahead and we'll see if we can keep this within the parameters of the rules and regs of YouTube. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and call this the Minuteman Ready Cabinet. Okay, that's what we're going to call it. All right, nothing in here that I'm sure you guys haven't seen a million times on YouTube videos, but basically everything I need for home defense, civil defense, whatever. This is what this cabinet is. Home defense Minuteman Ready Cabinet. That's what we'll call it. But yes, it is a wooden cabinet. I know I get a lot of grief for this. It's just meant to secure, secure my tools, my home defense tools from the kids, and buy me a little time in case somebody does decide to try to take a chance at getting in here. But they definitely have to get through quite a lot of security measures out in front and beyond the house before they ever made it to this point. So that is why I have this cabinet. That, and I don't have $2,500 to spend on a Liberty cabinet, or some other type of steel cabinet. Just don't have the money. So when you don't have the money but you have building skills, you build yourself a cabinet. Plus, I don't understand the hype. You mean gun cabinets were made out of wood for the better part of the last 10 centuries. So it's just in the, recently did we start getting big metal cabinets. They were always wood. And when I was in high school, all of our, we kept all of our firearms in wooden cabinets. So all of a sudden now they're totally inadequate. But so I think we covered everything except for that up there. That's just a turkey instrument right up there for turkeys. And yeah, let's head out to the garage. It's a little disorganized out here right now, but this is my Stay Fresh freeze dryer. This is this table I built just for this freeze dryer. It's heavy duty because this thing weighs a ton. And I have the commercial grade pump that goes with this, which is really nice. It just makes the freeze drying process go a lot faster, a little more efficient. But make sure to leave links in the description for this unit. Great thing to have. I'd say for those of you who are looking at doing a real long-term, food pantry where you don't have to worry about rotating your food. You just do you have your food, put it up there and not have to think about it for 25 plus years. Just buy a freeze dryer, especially for those of you who have like food allergies or food proclivities, and you're just really picky about the type of food you like. Make your own food, freeze dry it yourself, put it in the bags, and then put those bags in totes. And then, you can forget about it and just, it's there and it will last 20, 25 plus years. So that is a great unit. And then over here we have Mr. and Mrs. bug out bag. So this is my bug out bag. This is my wife's bug out bag. And like I said, the kids' bug out bags are in that tote. But again, this is kind of, our emergency plan. If we have to flee, we come through here. I grab this, I grab this, I grab that, we grab that, and maybe a couple other things in here, and we're gone. So that is our plan. Over here, this is actually some of my inventory for my Etsy store. I'll make sure to leave a link for that, but I have all my snares, fire making equipment, stuff like that for my Etsy shop. And this is probably the last thing, the generator. So this is our whole house generator. It is a 13,000 watt generator, and it is just barely enough to power my house, but it's dual fuel. It runs off gasoline and propane, but in the winter, which is usually when the power goes out, I run this off of gasoline because the propane just doesn't give it enough oomph to power our house. And over here is basically our panel. And so the power does go out. Basically what you do is you you close this circuit down. This shuts off this board, and you slide this thing up, put it over. I think that's the process. It's been a while. And then this slides over to this panel, this sub panel here, and this runs all of just our essential things like the refrigerator, lights, and the well pump, things like that. It runs everything except for the furnace. The furnace is just too big of a draw, and our septic system should be included. It is actually, the septic system is on that panel, but I'm having weird frequency issues, like the frequency that this generator puts out power-wise, it just doesn't jive with my septic system. So I had an electrician come out. He was totally puzzled by it, but that was his theory. So yeah, that's kind of the downside. When our power goes out, our septic doesn't work. So we have to be very sparing with, you know, our water issue, because the septic system will fill up, and then once it's filled up, we can't use it. So that is one of the issues with the system, and kind of, you know, just where we are. But that is how we do it. So that's going to do it for me today, you guys. Hopefully this video doesn't get taken down. I know it's probably not going to do as well as the last video. That video is actually doing really well. And yeah, I mean, I was pretty upset because that was a difficult video to make. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And most important thing, you guys, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button and send YouTube a message that you like these videos, that you support these videos. Share this video with your friends and family. Definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And again, like I said, I have a full inventory video coming out on my Prepper Pantry, like all my inventory, the supplies, everything. So if you guys want to see that, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when that video comes out. But if you have any questions for me, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. And if you're interested, you know, in things in this video, maybe they will be in the video description. I don't know. I got to kind of leave the part open a little bit too. So that's going to do it for me today, you guys. Until the next time, stay prepared.